Beryl Burton, an English farm worker who for a quarter of a century has dominated women's cycling. 7 times world champion, with a daughter in tow, her husband Charlie as coach, and no financial rewards. Hers is a lifelong pursuit, an all-consuming passion for bicycling in the amateur race.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Dig in, Beryl. Half of my training was doing riding from work to home to get the dinner ready for them to eat. I used to just have a sandwich and a cup of tea, go training, and then come back and have my dinner afterwards.
A grandmother now, Beryl Burton is still racing.
I'm not on form at the moment, haven't been for a couple of seasons. I've got to that age with females, this menopause problem, and I'm not riding nowhere near as well as I should be doing, but I'm riding to my best ability, and yet I'm still beating people that are much younger than what I am.
This is open road time trialling, racing against the watch, and Beryl is still outclassing men. A Frenchman wrote, where Beryl French, Joan of Arc would have come second.
Whatever comes up, you sort of challenge it, and you've got to be successful. Well, I remember as a child playing ball in the backyard, just up to the wall. I used to set myself targets that I had to do it 20 times, and if I didn't do it, I used to get so distraught and bang the ball about, and I would carry on until I'd actually done the target that I set myself at. So I must have been born with this drive to be successful. People are still thrilled if they beat me now, but to me that feels wrong because I'm not getting faster, I'm going slower. So the thing is that they should be aiming for, in my way of thinking, is to beat the records that I've set up. I mean, the 10-mile record is something like 17 years old.
Santa Cruz, California, world headquarters of the Nomadic Research Labs, base for another bicycling obsessive. But being in the West Coast, a laid-back approach in more senses than one, a combination of high technology and beckoning horizons that have made Steve Roberts the world's first computer nomad.
It occurred to me that perhaps it ought to be possible to take all of my passions and combine them into a lifestyle. And I made a list of them: travel, adventure, bicycling, computing, networking, ham radio, publishing, romance, fun, learning. And it became immediately obvious that the solution to all of my woes was to trash my lifestyle, get rid of the house, and pack everything that mattered to me onto a computerized recumbent bicycle and go wandering.
Courtesy of the bike, suburban man turned easy rider, with lots and lots of gadgets. Plus a partner, Maggie Victor, on a less encumbered machine.
Maggie has been my traveling companion now for about 4 years. She helps with a lot of the business details, is the lifestyle maintenance manager, a great companion, and now she's getting into photography and is the official trip photographer.
It's worked. Steve Roberts has been making a living computing across America, writing it up on a word processor with a keyboard on the handlebars.
I think the fact that this machine echoes people's dreams of freedom and adventure and getting away from it all is probably what's making the whole thing work. Because everywhere I go, I run into people who see what I'm doing, respond at first with incredulity because of the complexity of the technology, talk to me for a few moments, recognize that my dreams are a lot like their dreams, and all of a sudden it's a demonstration that anything is possible if you're willing to take some risks. It's important that I be able to work on it wherever I am. So to do that, all the access panels that open up. It says 4 megabytes of RAM disk, so that I don't have to always be operating from a hard disk drive. Although it does have its own hard disk. This shock-mounted platform here contains 2 40-megabyte hard disk drives. These devices here are ultrasonic sensors. The console puts out a signal which these receive, and there's a little controller in there that notices changes in head angle by looking at phase and Doppler change. So it lets me control the cursor on the Macintosh simply by looking at where I want it to be. This is the inside of a Macintosh Portable, and I've interfaced to it fairly gently. I haven't had to hack into the board at all because all their interfaces to the real world, including keyboard and so on, are all easy to emulate with my own hardware. This is a little solid-state refrigerator. This will generate about 50 watts of cold from excess solar power and things like that. So this will cool my drinking water and also actually pull heat out of my body by with a little heat exchanger in the helmet. And incidentally, if I have a wreck, this is supposed to protect my head. So I hope I haven't voided the warranty. One of the big challenges is to just see how much I can get on the bike, but it has to be stuff that fits. I don't want to just load it up with a lot of irrelevancies.
For me, bicycle riding would be destroyed if I had to struggle around under a burden of heavy luggage. The whole idea is to fly as light as a bird across the surface of the roads or the tracks or the deserts or the snowfields that you're trying to cross.
Nick Crane, the London writer who cycles the globe. He's biked up Kilimanjaro, conquered the High Atlas, and ridden to the centermost point of Asia.
There are a few more extraordinary sensations than riding a virtually unloaded racing bike across the Gobi Desert with no luggage. You haven't got any food with you because you're just stopping a truck every day and asking if you can buy a bit of bread or buy some water or cold tea from them. You're completely dependent on things that you come across in the landscape. I found particularly in Africa, where you go into a chai house or in Nepal, you'll find that it breaks the ice as you arrive. It's not like a metal and glass box that a car is, where you can conceal things and it's all rather suspicious. On a bicycle, you're completely open to them. They can pick up the bike, feel how light it is. They can get on the bike and ride around the village square. They can see that you're not hiding anything. It's just you and your bike. And the bike in the third world is very much an everyday tool. It's something that everybody knows and everybody uses. There's nothing mysterious about it. And also, you're therefore at the same level.
An adventurer who never urges caution, just common sense. Understand your companions, know and trust your bike.
My idea of a great trip is to actually cut things down to an absolute minimum. One spanner with holes drilled in it to save weight, one tyre lever, a machine for taking the chain apart with the handle taken off, a pair of goggles for riding in the desert with eye shades and a nose protector to stop the sun burning your nose, a pair of chopsticks here with slots cutting the handle to save weight. Chopsticks are much lighter than metal spoons, of course. A spoke key with cut in half, and a watch, a lady's watch. Ladies' watch is much smaller than gentlemen's watch. Cut the lugs off and then tie it onto your trousers with a little piece of string, and then your girlfriend's photograph elastoplastered to the back of a credit card. So travel happily, travel light.
Or if you're competing in the race across America, travel at night. This is Elaine Mariolle, who set out to be the fastest woman over 3,000 miles, coast to coast.
After I'd been cycling for about a year, I went and did the qualifying race. It was 800 miles long, and I came in second, and I figured, well, since I qualified, I might as well go on and try to compete. In the first year, in 1984, I came in last place, and it took me about 14 days to do it, and I did it just on a wing and a prayer. And I remember sitting in Atlantic City at the end of the race, kind of wondering to myself, I wonder if I can be competitive in this event. So over the course of the next 2 years, I worked on my training, nutrition, and my mental attitude, and went from last place to winning it in record time.
She did it in 10 days, 2 hours and 4 minutes. A time trial where the clock never stopped, even at night.
Training for the Race Across America, you have to ride about 21 hours a day. You cover between 300 and 400 miles a day, which means a lot of that's done at night. There's less traffic, the stars are out, it's cooler, but, you know, it's a sleepy time, so there's that challenge of trying to stay awake.
Elaine Mariolle writes a cycling column for the San Francisco Chronicle, actively encouraging a sisterhood of cycling.
Women are again taking up the sport and discovering the same sorts of things, that yes, they have muscles, yes, they work, it's possible to push yourself, and the kinds of power that you feel when you're riding a bike are things that you can take and translate into other areas of your life, whether it be work or profession or you know, a family.